The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to St. Mark.
Glory to you, O Lord.
As Jesus left Jericho with his disciples and a large crowd, Bartimaeus, that is son of Timaeus, a blind beggar, was sitting at the side of the road. When he heard that it was Jesus of Nazareth, he began to shout and to say, "Son of David, Jesus, have pity on me." And many of them scolded him and told him to keep quiet. But he only shouted all the louder, "Son of David, have pity on me." Jesus stopped and said, "Call him here." So they called the blind man. "Courage," they said, "get up, he is calling you." So throwing off his cloak, he jumped up and went to Jesus. Then Jesus spoke, "What do you want me to do for you?" "Rabboni," the blind man said to him, "Master, let me see again." Jesus said to him, "Go, your faith has saved you." And immediately his sight returned, and he followed him along the road. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
Dear brothers and sisters in Jesus Christ, let us reflect today on the topic of the Mission Sunday, going deep within ourselves and in the mystery of Christ, what this mission is for us. On this day, many Catholics go about doing good, give alms, show extra love to the poor, go about doing charity, give donations to various institutions. My dear friends, the Lord is asking us to revitalize our love for Him and for His people. With the COVID-19 situation all around, we can know that the condition of the world and its people has changed. Even the rich need help at this time. So many people who have lost jobs, and how difficult it is to get a new job for an individual, in spite of having all the skills, talents, and the best of qualification. It is very difficult. But the mission of Christ is to be for the other in spite of knowing what my condition is. To give to the hungry from what I have. To share with someone who does not have anything from what I have little. The mission of Christ is not to give from abundance that we have, but to give with love and charity, with total dedication and love for Him from among those things that I have. God so loved the world that He gave His only Son, that we all may be saved. Because of His sacrifice and death on the cross, we have been saved. And finally, the mission of Christ is accomplished when he says, it is accomplished on the cross. I can give to people from the talents that God has given to me by sharing my talents. I can give to the other from the treasures that I have. I can give to the other in prayerful support. I can give to the other love, concern, affection. This will be the biggest charity that we can do on this day. My dear brothers and sisters, in the Gospel of Mark, chapter 10, verses 46 to 52, we see how Jesus is proclaimed by a beggar, Bartimaeus, who calls him Son of David. Jesus, heal me, give me sight. And Jesus calls him when he hears that someone is calling out to him, reaching someone who is in need. That was the mission of Christ. What do you want from me? I want to see again. I want my sight again. Which means this man had become blind. He knew what sight is. And then he wants to return back to his original self. Not the former life, but the original self that God had created him. And Jesus says, now you get healed. And he is healed. Dear brothers and sisters, this was the mission of Christ. God sent him on this earth, becoming man, in order that we receive total fulfillment of life. And the total fulfillment of life is to receive life in abundance from God. Life of total freedom. Life with total purity. And love for God and for one another. This is the mission Christ is entrusting to you and to me. Go out to the whole world. Proclaim the good news. And the news is to set the captives free. To go and heal the sick, the lame, the blind, the crippled. This is the work of each one of us. To feed the hungry, to take care of the least, the marginalized. We have various examples in life. People who have given everything from what they had, not reserving anything for themselves. Look at the life of Mother Teresa, a foreigner in our country, feeling so much for the pathetic situation of our country, feeling for the poor, those lying on the streets, the destitutes, and going down to our level, coming down to our level, and being and serving when we ourselves couldn't. And not only teaching our country that we can do this to the least in our country, but even to people abroad. The rich, the poor must learn from Mother Teresa. There is another person in Tamil Nadu, Kalyana Sundaram, who was a librarian. From his early age, when he received job, he began to give all his salaries one after the other to the orphanages, to the ashrams, and to the education of the poor children in his village and all around. He himself lived a very poor life, and to face all his expenses, he did meager jobs, odd jobs, working in the hotels, serving and getting a little for his food and for his stay. He did this not even up to retirement, but even later. The universities awarded him, the countries awarded him, and all the awards he received have gone again to the charitable trusts, institutions, and orphanages. What did this man receive for himself? Nothing. He received everything for the sake of the poor. And he makes a statement in an interview saying, he says, it is easy to gather up funds, easy to gather up money, either by your earnings or by your parents' earnings, which are left over, or through donations. But it is a fulfillment of joy when you give from your earning and when you give totally. Yes, my dear friends, Kalyana Sundaram is internationally known. A person so sweet to speak to him. What did he achieve through this job as a librarian? A great name in doing charity. What was Jesus? Jesus, by his life of charity, who died on the cross for the sake of the humanity, he gained name in the whole universe as the Son of God. Yes, my dear friends, charity will give us a good name in the sight of men and in the sight of God. Let us do this during the time when people are in need. Let us work to do charity. Let us work to take care of others. Let us work to give to people from what we have.